Child's Story of the Bible by Mary A. Lethbury. Read by Stephen J. Carrington. Chapter 1. The Beginning of Things. Away back in the beginning of things, God made the sky and the earth we live upon. At first it was all dark, and the earth had no form. But God was building a home for us, and His work went on through 6 long days, until it was finished as we see it now. On the first day God said, "Let there be light." And the black night turned to gray, and light came. God called the light day, and the darkness night, and the evening and the morning made the first day. Then God divided the waters, so that there were clouds above and seas below, and He called the clouds heaven. It was the second day. Then the seas were gathered together by themselves, and the dry land rose above them, and God saw that it was good. Then He called to the grass and the plants and the trees to come out of the ground, and they came, bearing their seeds, and He called the third day good. Then God called to the 2 great lights, the sun and the moon, to shine clear in the sky, which had first been dark and then gray. And they rose and set to make day and night, and seasons and years. And the stars came also, and it was the 4th day. Then God called for all kinds of fishes that swim in the seas and rivers, and for all kinds of birds that fly in the air. And they came, and it was the 5th day. And then God called for all the animals to live on the green earth, and the cattle and the great beasts, and the creeping things came. And God called them all good. After this He made the first of the great family of man. He made them after His own likeness. He made their bodies from the earth, but their souls He breathed into them, so that man is a spirit, living in an earthly body, and can understand about God and love Him. He blessed them and told them to become many, and to rule over all the earth, with its beasts and birds and fishes. And it was the 6th day. The man's name was Adam, and the woman, who was made from a piece of Adam's body nearest to his heart, was named Eve. Then God's world was finished, and on the 7th day there was rest. God was pleased with all that was made, and He made the 7th day holy, by setting it apart from all the others. We keep the Sabbath or the Lord's day still, in which His children may rest and worship. Adam and Eve were very happy, for they had never done anything wrong. God gave them a beautiful wide garden called Eden, full of flowers and all kinds of fruit, and with a river flowing through it, and told Adam to take care of the garden. And He sent all the animals and birds to Adam to be named. God told him also that he might eat the fruit of all the trees of the garden, except one, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But if he ate of the fruit of that tree, he should surely die. And Adam and Eve loved God, and had no wish to disobey Him, for He was their father. But there was a creeping serpent in the garden, and the evil spirit that puts wrong thoughts in our hearts spoke to Eve through the serpent. "You shall not die," he said, "but you shall be wise like God if you eat of this fruit." And Eve ate of the fruit, and gave it to her husband. Then they knew that they had sinned, and when they heard the voice of God in the garden calling them, they hid among the trees, for they were unhappy and afraid. When the Lord had asked Adam if he had eaten of the fruit that was forbidden, Adam laid the sin upon Eve, who gave it to him. And Eve said that the serpent had tempted her to eat of the fruit. God knew that they must suffer for their sin, so He sent them out of the garden to make a garden for themselves, and to work and suffer pain, as all who came after them have done to this day. But he gave them a great promise, that among their children's children one should be born who would be stronger than sin, and a Saviour from it. After this 2 little children were sent to comfort Adam and Eve. First Cain, and then Abel. When they grew up, Cain was a farmer, but Abel was a shepherd. They had been taught to worship God by bringing the best of all they had to him, and so Cain brought fruit and grain to lay upon his altar. But Abel brought a lamb. God looked into their hearts and saw that Abel wished to do right, but Cain's heart was full of sin. Cain was angry because the Lord was pleased with the worship of Abel, and while they talked in the field, Cain killed his brother. When the Lord said to Cain, "Where is thy brother?" he answered, "I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?" And the Lord sent him away from home, to wander from place to place over the earth and find no rest. But he promised that no one should hurt Cain or kill him as he had killed his brother. So he went away into another land to live. Adam lived many years after this, and had other children, but at last he died, when his children's children were beginning to spread over the land.